What's going on, guys? My favorite time of the day or favorite time of the week in the shop, turning the wrench on my own 379 Peterbilt. This episode we're going to discuss driveline once again. I think I made a few videos, but actually I got the U-joint went out on my truck, and I will show you how I change it. Not how I change it, I will explain how to change it, because I can record and putting a U-joint at the same time. At this point in time, we're going to work on a half-round U-joint. There's two different kinds. There's one is a full round and one is a half round. The difference between them, you can look for yourself what kind of you have. If you have full corners with this kind of caps, the proper name for it, it's a full round U-joint. In this situation, it's a half round U-joint. So you have bolts coming like this, and you have a strap will go over like that, which it looks like those straps. So I got a new U-joint and I got an old U-joint. The reason I'm replacing this U-joint, it's completely functional. There's no problem. So when the drive shaft, this drive shaft's between the axle, I call it drive shaft in between, it had play in these caps. It was going in and out very, very tiny bit. I'm talking about maybe a couple thousands, maybe not even that much, maybe like 1,000 or something. For me, I replace them right away. I don't mess around with this stuff, because I'm a strong believer U-joints, they gotta be timed, and you don't want, you want zero play in them. And the proper way to check the U-joints, drive the truck for about 5,000 miles, then climb underneath it and literally grab by your hand and yank on every point of the drive shaft, like over there, underneath the truck, and one in the back. If you have any kind of play, the U-joint needs to be replaced. Doesn't matter if it's up and down, side to side. And when, like in my situation, I took this one out, so this U-joint is considerably bad, I checked this one, and this U-joint was fine, it was in the truck, but then you're trying to move it like this, and if you have a very tiny bit of dead spot, like it will catch and it will go, you check them like that. Like in this situation, this U-joint is completely fine. I'm going to continue using it. But a lot of times, if they don't have any sort of play, but one went out and you have to place that one, check the other side. So they're not cheap. I think I'm spending like 80 bucks on a U-joint. Don't quote me, 80 or $75. And I use Spicer U-joint. Please do not use Offbrand U-joints. I don't know the name of them. Use Nepco, Spicer. I don't know any kind of. Use the good brand of U-joints, because I seen the guys when Napa Auto Parts go buy some Offbrand U-joint from a day one. They weren't machined properly. They have play in them. And I had a friend of mine came in. He says, I just replaced them. I says, dude, they are bad. They sloppy up and down. Every one of them. He's like, well, I bought them at the Napa and they were cheap. I says, well, guess what? If you have a U-joint has a little bit of play, you can knock it down. Transmission, differential, carrier bearings. You can do a lot of damage by bad U-joint. That's something gets missed and quite often doesn't get checked, like a wheel bearings. Wheel bearings needs to be checked about every 3 to 4 to 5, 6 months, at least at the maximum 6 months. And that doesn't get checked. Speaking of that, I need to check mine. So, another thing, I spoke with some guys. They says, well, this is a nut for the strap, right? This blue stuff, that's a Loctite. I'm not a big believer in this Loctite. That's the Loctite I use. The sticker's kind of dirty. This is my best friend. Anytime I work on a driveline, that's what I use, is red Loctite. And I don't know if you're gonna catch it, but this, I believe I replaced these U-joints. I know I replaced that one at one point in time, but I use red Loctite, never had a problem. They always, the bolts always come out. So don't afraid to use red Loctite on all the components for the drive line. So keep an eye on your drive shafts. It's very, very important. You can save yourself a lot of money by replacing the U-joints and catching them at the right time. When I worked at the shop, I've seen these stupid things happening by guys like, oh, he has little plate, no big deal. And the transmission goes out and everything else, and then the carrier bearings. And I mean, I seen it so bad, the trucks got towed in. They break in a drive shaft, I say, and then you talk to the driver, it's like, was there any symptoms? He's like, yeah, I had a really bad vibration. Why you were continue driving? He's like, I thought I had something in the tire. Well, guess what? I mean, they break in the drive shaft, then you have to replace the drive line and everything. Another thing, if you end up driving with a bad U-joint for the long period of time, so we'll take this cap off and a full round. See how I cannot press this in? It's actually need to be pounded in with a hammer very gently. I seen some with this caps just drop in. That means if your cap just falls in easily, like this one, I can't get it in. Oh Jesus! But anyways, if your cap just falls in, that means you have to take the drive shaft to the shop where they work on it. And you're gonna have to put a new yoke on it, because if you end up putting it, just drop the cap in and call it good, guess what? That little bit of play, it will put your drive shaft out of balance again, and you will break this lid from a cap, and this cap will continue pounding back and forth, and eventually you will either break the drive shaft or you will do some sort of damage to the rest of the drive line component, or the differentials, or like I said, transmission. So keep an eye on your U-joints. It will save you quite a bit of money. So I'm pretty anal regarding it. Thanks for watching all.